What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Response on Play. We're here on our way to the Denver Regional, going to be there next weekend. Going through this nice pass, and actually, this snowstorm kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. I see Jake over there in a tree looking for the way forward, so hopefully, we make it out okay. Anyway, my name's James.
And this is Steph. Getting a little hungry.
Andrew, kind of wish Jake doesn't come down.
And Brian, I'm not the other guy. I'm the last guy.
Well, with that, talking about going to Denver, we want to talk about a few things today, especially the new characters that we're going to be seeing in Denver. With that, and new characters that we pulled, let's talk about our Exandria pulls. Anybody get anything cool?
I didn't.
Damn.
All right, that's it. Wrap it
All
up.
right, well, next topic.
Andrew didn't get anything, and that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to pull from this set. I had to from the Squidward meme that was posted on social media. That was me, while everyone else is like, "Look what I pulled! This is awesome!" I'm just like, "Yeah, great, awesome."
You didn't get
Yay.
anything cool from the pre-release because I know you did that.
I did do the pre-release, and honestly, my pulls were not that great. Like, the coolest thing I pulled was Spirit Unicorns, and I don't think the card is fantastic. It is very beautiful. Like, it is a very pretty card, but that is, like, the best I pulled. I guess aside from Unyielding Rage, because Unyielding Rage is really good for Grog and Yasha,
Yeah.
but aside from those two cards, I did not pull that great.
Did you pull just the regular version, or did you pull the alt unicorn?
Just regular. During prize support, Jake did pull the alt art Spirit Unicorn, so we do have the alt as well. And then with prize support as well, I pulled alt art Scanlan. So I walked away okay with okay pulls, but like during the pre-release itself, I didn't really pull anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we opened some pre-release packs up here, and they were not amazing. They were pretty. I don't know. I remember pre-release of old, like having the packs kind of. We were like, did they juice these? And that does not feel like that for this
Oh,
set.
that's how I felt for Girl Power. Like I had a couple kits, and I was like, man, these are juiced. I pulled gas in both. It felt so good, and I'm like, this feels a little unfair though. And then this set, it's just like, man, I didn't really pull anything, did I?
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't pull much in my pre-release kits. I got an Earth Shaker, just a regular one. Um,
Nice.
so that was pretty exciting. But otherwise, it wasn't really anything too crazy. A lot of the people around me were pulling alternate characters and things like that, and that was really cool. I do think part of the this feels juiced effect that this one didn't really have compared to some of the older ones might have been the guaranteed promo because the last few of last year had just an alt art guaranteed in the
That's
plastics
fair.
instead of a
Yeah.
guaranteed promo.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so
Yeah,
I think that juiced a lot of those packs because it basically became, well, there's one UR in here or alt art character guaranteed
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
plus
that's
six
fair.
packs.
I don't know. I feel like I remember around like Jetburn and Yu Yu Hakusho, like we were pulling secrets and
Well,
like
that's what I'm
multiple
saying.
URs and like just out of the actual packs themselves though. Like I don't know. I feel like, and then this one I think I got one UR. Like I don't know. It feels like they were at least the packs inside were maybe it's just our experience getting a little lucky with our pre-release.
Yeah, we were just
Mm-hmm.
goaded, and now we're not. We were them, and now we're nobodies.
We're not. We weren't them, and now we are past tense.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we I pulled some pretty good stuff, I think. Um, pulled three alt art characters. I pulled Caleb, Not, and Yasha. And they all, I just want to say, the alt art characters in the set look so good.
They do.
I
It's unfair how good these cards look compared to some of the like the AOT one alts like the Levi. was
Mhm.
probably my favorite alt that I ever pulled
Yeah, that art looks
until I
cool.
got to this new set. They look so good.
I want to say, because this is a thing, because we were talking about it earlier, is that you were talking about Unicorns looks good, but it wasn't really that exciting. I'm like, every card in this set looks good. Like the
Yeah.
art in this set is just like so good on average. But then like all the alt art, like these kind of like new arts pieces, are really good.
Yeah, I mean, all of I mean, we've been saying this since the set got revealed. Like the art looks incredible in the set, but actually seeing the alternate characters in person, seeing the runic effects that they did in the backgrounds, like
Mhm.
they look so good. I am a little. We kind of talked about this earlier as well. I'm a little disappointed in like the Caleb one because I actually didn't think that he had the runes in the background because it's put on the fire and it's really hard to see. Even looking at it up close, I had to tilt it super hard to get the runes to show. Whereas a lot of the characters have it on like a black background and it's really visible. So I wish that was a little bit more visible on the Caleb one, but it still looks really good.
Yeah, like the alt arts just look like fantastic. I love the alt art characters so much. I'm a big Keyleth stan, but and like her alt art looks so freaking good. I love it. As obviously, I also really like Caleb's as well. One that kind of surprised me was Pike's, because I kind of just looked at it from the card gallery on the website, and I was like, I mean, this looks cool. This is fine. And then someone else from pre-release pulled an alt art Pike, and I actually got to look at it and see like the rune effects. I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually really good.
Yeah, it's crazy. They went so hard with the alts in the set, and it looks really good. We also, speaking of alts, I also pulled a how was it? It was Pristine Swordplay, um, which is
Darian, you are.
the Tarian you are,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the the alt art effect that they did for the URs in this set also look very good. The kind of the two tone
Mm-hmm.
clashing colors almost like it looks so good. Like honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
think I kind of prefer it to the pearls. They're more readable. They're like colorful. Like I don't know. I really like what they've done with the art in this set.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Like hands down, I think that the the alt art treatments in this set are just like phenomenal. They probably should just do this kind of alt art stuff treatment to things. The pearls were
Agreed.
cool. I'm not a big fan of the obsidians
The
because of
Obsidians
the
were
No.
bad.
because
I
they're
think we're
Yeah,
because a lot of times they look like black, just like
they do. Yeah,
squares that I couldn't read. Whenever someone
yeah
would play it, I'd be like, I don't know what that says, man. Like I don't.
I much
Yeah.
prefer this over the pearls and
But like I
obsidians.
can still
Mm-hmm.
easily tell like I have the alt art of Growkeeper's Authority, and while the effect going over the name and like that stuff is makes it a little bit harder to read specific spots. Like I saw the alt art of Scanlan's hand, and it covers like half of the bottom sentence because of how the art works. Like the thumb comes up over, like it's grabbing everything, like the text and him, and it
hmm
looks really good. But it makes it's hard to read that part of the sentence because it's behind the hand. But like I could tell from across the room, they're like, "Hey, look at this!" I'm like, "Oh, that's Scanlan's hand." That's not a black square that's been like redacted in real life. It feels like to look at.
yeah. The I don't know. Like I liked the pearls. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the pearls. I think it was a cool treatment. I think they were easily readable. I do prefer this just because I think to me personally, it looks cooler. I like the color scheme more. I like the how they kind of pop. But the obsidians were definitely hard to read.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think the Pearl and Obsidian um takes of like as alt arts were fine. The pearls were nice to look at. But yeah, the Obsidian, while cool on paper, but on the actual cardboard, I don't think it really translated well because it made it, really hard to read.
Yeah. Yeah, like, hard to physically read, but then also just like there were a lot of times where like I had to look really hard to see what the picture was.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
But that's what I pulled. Brian, you said you pulled some cool stuff.
Yeah. So I pulled a few. I mean, I opened a whole case, so I have quite a few cards. But the coolest
You need
one,
to
of
list them
course,
all in sequential order right now.
in sequential order. Okay,
Set order.
let me double check
Card
the
number.
set number. Yeah, like the card numbers here. Um, I opened 4 alt art characters. It sounds like you opened 3.
Yeah, the stuff that I opened.
Yeah, fair. Um, I opened a Vex, which was cool. Tarian. I opened a Grog, which
Nice.
is cool because he's on my high list of characters that will one see play for sure, but also that I might see play with me. And then I opened the Percy, and Percy was the one that I was like, oh, this looks so good. That was the one that I saw. Um, and then the one of the cards I was telling this story earlier, but I'm gonna tell it again for everybody else. Um, I got the Harness Undeath alt art, and I was in a voice chat with some of my friends who don't play the game, and I had not seen the alt art yet, and I opened and I immediately said, "Man, this card looks so good," and they were like, "Oh, did you open something good?" And I was like, "It's very niche, but the art looks amazing."
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Harness Undeath plays well for what it wants to do. But if you don't want to do that, this card's 4 low for 4.
Yeah, the card's fine. Only for the character. Like the card's really good for like Caduceus, right? But it's not gonna work well for like Mollymawk.
Yeah. And I'm like, or yeah, like it's not even got weapon on it, things like that. And then I got a few of the alt art like UR treatments, Grove Keeper's Authority, because I was just talking about that one. I got a Spellbolt and Sword Swipe, a Nature's Tempest, and a Fenthras. And then I also opened the Beauregard Chrome, number 65.
Steph, what did you end up pulling?
I pulled some cool stuff. I pulled in the pre-release. I think it was pre-release. I don't remember actually. It might not have been. But I pulled the alt art Mollymawk, which looks really good. The foiling on
Yeah.
it is cool. There's a lot of like really cool textures. I like what they did with the textures on a lot of the alt arts. It just looks really cool. I don't know. I like touching them.
I do too. I
Um,
think they look so good.
I like
Yeah.
touching cards.
Yeah, it's got like a cool intersecting like cross hatching and like different stuff, and it catches the light in cool ways. I also like the monochrome like numbers on the side,
Yeah.
That looks really cool. So Molly Monk looks great. I pulled the altar of his secret rare Hooligan Mockery, which looks great.
Hula Gang.
Yeah, Hooligan.
Yeah.
I pulled an Altart Spirit Unicorns, and I liked it so much that I considered playing Caleb, who I hate, just so that I could like feasibly play a Spirit Unicorns deck.
You told me that.
You can play
I
Jester
was like,
1.
That's true. You could play just Jester 1 and just play a spell package. But I was
Yeah,
like, you told me you were like, I might be playing Caleb just so I can play Spirit Unicorns. I was like, of all the cards, Spirit
I know.
Unicorns.
It's so cute. The alt
None-
is so pretty. It's like purple and blue, and the little unicorns are little
Oh,
fat pink things. Like,
Yeah, like I said this earlier, like I think Spirit Unicorns is a very pretty card. But effectiveness, I don't think it's there.
I know. I just wanted
so
to work somewhere. Like,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, if it's going to work for someone, I guess Caleb is a choice because of his
Yeah.
enhance. But
yeah,
continue.
I think it'll work for Caleb. It probably works for Jester, obviously, but 2 characters I'm not interested in. I did not pull a Pike alt or a Pike Chrome, which was really well. Does she have a Chrome? I don't remember.
Yeah, she's
think-
the Chrome. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Alora, Bo, Caleb, Grog, Jester, Percy, Scanlan, and Yasha.
Damn.
I'm
Yeah, well,
surprised.
her alt art is cool. I did not get that either. I didn't get like the alt art of her secret. I didn't get any Pike stuff. They did not bless me.
You were
I
not.
know.
You did not get the blessed medal.
Your
I
medal was
didn't.
not blessed.
It was not. I got some other random stuff that I didn't really care about. Like it was cool to have it. And then I got a Yasha Chrome,
Oh
and
shit.
Hey.
I was really excited about it. The Yasha Chrome looks great. Yasha looks great herself, on the Chrome. However,
It
However,
there is
begins.
a big print line right down the middle of my Yasha Chrome. And it's kind of just at the top, like the way that they layer chromes, I guess, is that they put the character over the background. So like the character cuts off the print line, but opening a $500 card and seeing a big print line down the middle is like so egregious. And it like the fact that this is on a chrome is so terrible and so disappointing. To go from that high of like I pulled a chrome to like, oh god, there's a big print line on it, like that really sucked. And
Mm-hmm.
you might be saying like you might be listening to this and thinking like you're just being dramatic, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. And the reason it matters is because Universus is a company that's taking my money. They're taking your money. I love Universus. I'm just saying this is a company that's profiting off of us, and this product is not really up to par.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's fair to be disappointed by something like that. And also with this game being a CCG, a collectible card game,
Yes.
like one of the higher rarity like collectibles of this game having a print line, collectors aren't going to like that. For I worked in a card store and had collectors coming in all the time. They saw any amount of defect, like any defect at all, they're like, "No, I don't want it."
Yeah. I mean, having that on a Chrome is so bad. Like it's unacceptable to me to see that kind of issue, to have that kind of like quality control issue on the Chromes, the cards that are supposed to be like the top tier collectible cards. Like these are worth $500. And it's not like I'm ever gonna sell this because I want to keep it because I like having my Chromes. I like collecting. It's just the fact that like this has been going on for so long and now it's affecting Chromes too. And I will also say James and I split a case and we counted 27 cards had print lines.
Of our
Ugh.
27 shinies out of the
27 shiny
case,
cards. Yeah.
had one of them was the Chrome. We had a secret rare that had a print line, and a alt art alt art pristine sword play had print line on it, which was really disappointing because these are really cool alt art cards. They're hard to find, and they're not. I get that errors happen. I think it is a little unacceptable on the chromes. There's 800 chromes
I,
in
th-
this set.
I believe because there's 8 of them, right?
Yeah,
In
so
this one.
like, yeah, that's a lot, but like, these are your pristine cards. These are your chase cards. These are why you go out to buy boxes, other if you already have what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these either could have been. I'll be honest. I don't know anything about how the printing process works, but I feel like these could have been vetted. Like you could have had the chromes shipped to an office somewhere, made sure that they looked good, and sent out. Like a print line on a chrome is like it's unacceptable. It
Yeah.
really is.
I mean, this is like a very like negative consumer experience for me. Like this made me not want to buy anymore. Like opening it up and seeing like a print line on a Chrome. And also like if it was kind of just like a once in a while thing, it's like, oh, I just got unlucky. I hit the mine, but it's like we had 27 print lines in the set. And this has been going on for like multiple sets, and people have been talking about it for so long. It's getting to the point where it's like, why is nothing being done about this? I wish we would at least get like a response about it. Like, hey, we're aware of the print line issue. We're working with the printers to try to like shore up quality control or something. But it's like, I'm very frustrated about it, and I try to be very positive, but like, this has been like a very negative experience for me. And I hate being that. I know I say like a lot of negative things, but like I hate being like that. But I also, as a consumer, don't like spending money and then opening like subpar product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know there's been some opinions online about, oh, I actually like the print lines, they're not that bad and stuff like that. And if you like them or you don't think they're that bad, it's fine. But what it comes down to is like yes, they're making a game that we like to play, but Universus, the UVS, company, they're a company and they're providing a product, and their product is not up to par, or it's not
It's
um
not at quality.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is not equality, and like that, whether or not you care about that, or whether or not you think that the print lines are bad, the company should care about that.
Right. Print lines are not a design issue. This is not an opinion. This is not like chibis. Print lines are a defect that are happening during manufacturing that has been happening for a long time, and they have not been addressed yet. And that is the problem for me. Like, this is not an opinion that, like, I just don't like the design. It's like, no, this is a defect in their, like, card making process that's been happening for a while. Now it's affected this big money card that I pulled, you know? So, I don't know. That's my big print line rant. I will end it on a positive, though, and say it's not super, it's obvious, but it's not, like, miserably obvious. It's not going, like, all the way down the card. And I'm not going to sell it anyway. And Yasha looks really good.
Yeah, that's because Yasha's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of
It does look very
Yasha,
good.
speaking of Yasha though, what do you guys think of Yasha going into Denver? Like, and I'm asking this personally, not just to like take over James's job. I'm seeing.
All
But
right.
I'm like,
Step aside, nerd.
I'm personally
them in-
interested because like I know Garza, you two
I have opinions.
co-casted.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
so
I have
you should-
opinions about it. They're
Let's hear him.
fairly a bunch of people who listen to this podcast, who I saw at Worlds, know this
Thank you.
opinion. Yeah, thank you for listening, obviously. Because I was talking about it at Worlds a lot, in which I think Yasha could have a higher ceiling than a character like Grog, but it requires you to build around what she's good at and basically play for a later portion of the game. And basically you just get to do things that Grog doesn't necessarily get to do. Kind of play some control-y aspects of the game, play defense, things like that. You're a more well-rounded character. I think I would not be surprised if we live in a world where 2 or 3 sets from now, Yasha is better than Grog. Because someone's finally figured out the secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be me. In fact, it probably won't be me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not some brilliant deck building innovator kind of guy. I just pilot decks well. Steph, you've talked about that being like a pilot, not an engineer kind of thing.
Yep.
But I do pilot enough of these that I can see when a card seems good, and part of it is her symbols compared to Grog. I would not be surprised if she's pretty good. I don't know that she's going to be pretty good for Denver, since that's so close. But if you told me she topped, I mean, we don't know where everything is. She tops not the regional in May, but the regional I think we have in, like, September. I'd be like, oh, totally.
Yeah, like I think Yasha has the potential to do well, like place well, at these regional style events. I will say, when Yasha was first revealed, I was like, this character has potential, but we kind of need to see a bit more. And then Orphan Maker's Rage, her UR got revealed. I'm like, okay, this is how Yasha kills people.
Big note, it does not say Rage, it says Fury. And the reason for that is because oh gosh, what's the name of that card? The spin to momentum, remove this, grab a card that says Rage.
Oh yes.
Which can only grab 2 cards. It can grab Grog's Rage and I would like to Rage.
Yes, you're right. My bad. But because being able to pick up that would be very dangerous. Like, all right, I'm gonna kill you now.
I mean, you're kind of picking up that if you pick up something like Grog's Rage. So I'm a little surprised that Orphan Maker's Fury didn't have Rage on it in the same manner. To go, hey, the UR, well, I guess it's a secret rare for Grog's Rage, so maybe that was the idea.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a UR with Grog's face on it, the secret rare, and then I could have seen the Yasha UR being another. Those are the 3 targets. There's not a lot of them, but you can run all 3 of them. You have, at most, 12 cards you can target.
Yeah, and
with that ability.
Orphan Maker's Fury doesn't change the fact that this is just that card is how Yasha kills people. So when I saw that UR get revealed, I was like, okay, I think Yasha could definitely get somewhere with this card. I already thought Yasha was good, just looking at her character card and just the UR elevating her slightly.
I got a little idea here. I think that card was meant to have rage on it, but then they like somebody pitched Open Maker Shiri, and they're like, you know what, that sounds better.
It does sound better.
And
It's a better name.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so they just like they're like, you know what, I guess it doesn't get to be picked up, but it sounds better now. So
I do think that's a little bit of it. I mean, there's probably some design standpoint. It could have also been that when it was able to be picked up too, it made both of them a little too good. Because there's a lot of that seems to go on where they're like, yeah, this used to be able to like do this wild thing, and it's like, it makes sense that we don't do that because that sounds crazy.
No way. Who would ever dare?
And we're trying to make
Brian,
less crazy cards.
yeah, unfortunately, I think some crazy cards it's not terrible, but I do know we need to balance the game. So there's that. Real quick though, Brian, you yesterday, as of recording, just witnessed a whole tournament full of new characters. What is your from that casting that event with Sam Tate? What do you think is kind of need to be on the lookout for going into Denver?
Okay, so if you did not watch that event, I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's a VOD for it or anything. That would be on the Ace Maneuvers channel. He might be doing it. I know he's going to do a couple of the deck lists. For sure, at least we'll get like the Grog deck list that won the whole event. So obviously, Grog has legs, has sauce. We kind of already knew that just going into it. We were like, yeah, this character is gonna be good. He does. He does what he says, and what he says is pretty solid. Characters that I was really surprised for, the one that surprised me the most, and I think, oh, we're probably gonna see this in Denver in some level, was Mirko. Mirko 2 specifically, running effectively what we call the Death Casino list, or the Death Self Mill, along with Science Bros, and just giving massive stats to each of their attacks effectively on like turn 2, throwing out these big bombs that are like 10 speed, 20 damage attacks that then she gets to clear because that's what she says. Hey, this definitely hit because it's turn 2 and you built 4 foundations like a normal person wanting to be able to block. And I said, actually, it's you have a 7 check in your deck. And then throwing another one and just killing people. Or if she gambles and she wins, she just does it. It felt very consistent. Whereas in some of those other lists that try and do that, it's not very consistent. So it doesn't feel that bad. It just feels like you got high rolled. But in this one, at least talking about for that tournament, which is a very small sample size, it felt like they were always doing the thing. That it was able to just be done. As long as they saw a Science Bros and a combined firepower, they were pretty much off to the races. And if they just saw a combined firepower, they were still kind of off to the races because it still gives a bunch of damage for them, which is what it's been doing. But now Science Bros kind of solves the speed problem that a lot of those decks had, where they would go wide. But now they don't necessarily have to go wide. You can kind of Voltron in on the one if your deck's not playing an answer that just says, I'm going to reset some part of it.
You mentioned them being consistent. Part of casino is you're gambling. You're supposed to get lucky. You talked about the other decks previously that have tried to run it not being as consistent. With like Science Bros and stuff like that, and it being able to kill on turn 2, which obviously the designers have spoken about, and they don't want that in the game. Do you think this style, specifically Mirko in this kind of list, is like getting on the edge of being like a little unfair and maybe need to be tweaked?
I'm not the grand. I'm not the grand arbiter and designer of UVS games. I would have made Yasha much more broken because she's really cool. No, uh, all my cool characters would have been the best, and every character I think is stinky would be bad. Um, I do think that there are so many tools that allow you to basically mill yourself into the rest of the combined firepowers to just keep going off and basically get them all out really quick. And because their responses are remove, I do actually think that we might want to touch a couple of those cards. I don't think, because I don't think it's Mirko's fault, and I don't think it's. I've talked about this before. I don't really think it's combined firepower's fault. Combined firepower, as written, says I give you 0 to 4 damage. What makes it egregious is I milled this thing that isn't supposed to count for combined firepower, though a couple of them do count for combined firepower. Avoiding conflict, obviously, is a non-foundation. That gets to respond, remove, effectively half of what combined firepower was going to give, and then set off your other combined firepower that you milled during that 5 cards you showed from your deck. From the check to through on through. And if you just touched a couple of those cards, I don't think avoiding conflict is one you would touch. Personally, I feel like I'm with you and loss of consciousness could probably be touched, even if they just didn't remove. Like if they were respawn, but not a remove cost. Or if the response was you did the thing and then you removed it as part of its text as not as cost, because that doesn't trigger combined firepower. Like with Battle for Dominance, which feels like it should trigger combined firepower because it's got Ghidorah's big head on it, but doesn't because you remove it not as the cost of doing the effect. The cost is just flip the foundation. And so by proxy, I know at Worlds, a bunch of times I would flip it and then say, respond combined firepower. Actually, sorry, I don't respond combined firepower. That doesn't count.
Lol, just kidding.
And then I would do something that would let me respond combined firepower, but like, I would say it and I'd be like, that's not true. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, there have been talks about getting rid of combined firepower pretty much since they get rid of the rest of the cards in the Kevin Broberg list. The twisting and risky maneuver. I don't know. I am like, obviously, if we get rid of combined firepower, it fixes every Death Casino list, because that's really the one that like facilitates it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is the problem. Obviously, it is the solution, but I don't know. If
I think that's the nuclear
problem.
option because it's basically the same as saying this. It's the same as like when we're basically eroding characters into the ground. Where you're just like, well, the option is we don't want you to do this broken thing. Period. Like, we don't even want that to be a thing that we're going to design around anymore. Whereas if you take the couple of cards that the design space said, hey, we want it to be like when you discard it, or when you, like, some of them were definitely when they self-mill. These wouldn't be egregious. Like, if, here's a good kind of like setup. If I'm with you didn't have combined firepower symbols and was, say, on like Earth, and you had a character like Byakko that basically milled himself, and then sometimes went, hey, I get an extra 2 damage, no one would even think about that card. And like, same with like loss of consciousness. If that was on like Aaron's Trials on Order, and it's a similar setup, like if it had been on Order as well, it's very likely that you wouldn't see it most of the time. Even though I don't think that one's as egregious, because it seals, which obviously is a big deal. It's very useful. It's a very strong ability to seal a foundation in a rival stage. but that they don't get the extra stats, which kind of matters, but it's the activation part that they get that matters. Obviously, I think some of those should still exist. I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea of when this enters the discard pile, I do a thing. I do think what I would do is I would probably touch, because like if you touch those two cards that I just named, they're a common and an uncommon, I believe, or maybe they're both commons, or maybe they're both uncommons, but they're not rares. Uh, you're actively not taking any money from anybody by saying, hey, you can't run those anymore. But also, you could then print cards like that in the future that are not keyword gated, but trait gated. You know, if I could only do I'm with you because I was a Titan, or because I was part of the what the heck? I'm Survey Corps. Thank you. I was like, if I'm part of the other group in that series,
The other group.
yeah, whose name I can't think of.
The other Corps.
The other, the non-Titans, the anti-Titans. Then like that would also be a thing where you wouldn't think about that. There would be a couple of characters that you go, oh hey, if they're playing that character, they might be doing this thing, right? Or like if you could only do that, something like that with a like giant or monster. It would also make a lot of those keyword things matter more for some of these like crazy things that are going on.
I don't think you're necessarily wrong, but I did want to kind of touch on if there was anything else in that tournament you saw that specifically new characters. I don't know how many showed up. I know we talked about Grog and Yasha. Were there any other new characters you got to see played that might have the sauce?
Yeah, so first round we saw Yasha versus, I do not remember who it was, unfortunately. Yasha was just like a fine-tuned machine in that match, and it was very close to the list I thought would be the way you would build her. It was very cool. I was like, well, I'm vindicated. Maybe I do know what I'm talking about sometimes. And then it didn't get very far. At least I don't know how far it got, I should say. It definitely didn't make it to finals or to prizing effectively. It didn't quite make the distance.
Yeah.
Then we saw Mitchell Chimino for like a few minutes, and he had given himself like +7 to his block, and just like blocked the lethal line.
You mean the actual Mitchell Chimino character?
Both?
Oh, it was Mitchell playing Mitchell.
Yes.
That's
Nice.
great.
But we only caught the tail end of it because he wasn't the one we were spectating, but we caught him for a little bit. But he had lost. He blocked that, but he had already lost the out because he was down a game. The edge shot was just trying to see if he could kill him. And the edge shot list was cool. So obviously, like, Mitchell's cool. Like, I think that character probably also has legs if you really figure out what the list should look like.
I'm happy to see Edshot because Edshot has always been a very cool character to me ever since he released in Jetburn.
Yeah, I think Edshot has a lot of cool words. Sam and I were talking about it where we're like, we want more characters that care about the review step. We were talking about it on the casting. We're like, we think these are cool. It would be cool if maybe not every set, but every now and then, just give us another character that really cares about review, or give us another thing that cares about review, like a mechanic that cares about review.
Agreed, because it was so cool. It was so cool, like, because I like Kamui too. Headshot is really cool. Never really played Mountain Lady 2, good old Miss Mountain, but I really like the reviewing like part of their like character identity. It was really cool to kind of play around that idea. I will say I very much liked playing Kamui 2, and just every time my opponent would be like, I'll review one, or like, I won't review, and like, and as Kamui 2, you just go, cool, I'm going to as well, and I'm going to heal. It's like, I see that you're reviewing, I want to as well, because that seems like fun. So like, I really like the reviewing bits that the lurkers have, and I agree, I would like to see more of that explored a bit too.
I also think it's a good like time gating mechanic for strong effects. When we talk about not wanting things to go off at like turn 2 or turn 3, if you have to have reviewed so many times, that's literally just the number of turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, -1 if you're going second. You can review on the very first turn.
Yeah.
But on total, it's basically just the number of turns, or the turns -1. That's the maximum you could do. Obviously, with the foundations and stuff, that also count as reviewing. But you could time gate a lot of that by by attaching it to something like the review step or the draw step or the ready step, and kind of and slows things down that you're like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be really strong. Like think of like Sung Jin Woo, where I was like, oh, Ruler's Authority's messed up, but you can't do Ruler's Authority stuff on turn 2. You can do Ruler's Authority stuff on turn 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, you don't get it. I have summoned all the pieces of Exodia. I will win now, please. Anyway, from there, we saw a Vaxildon, who could have just been doing the Mirko thing. It was TC. He was not playing that version of that list, and he was doing kind of like his own thing, which is kind of like what he does. But I do think if you had there's an option where you just kind of build the almost card for card. It can't be card for card what Mirko, because Mirko cares about Fury and Kick, whereas Vax cares about weapon. But you could build effectively that same thing and probably have very similar results. And a lot of it's just that package is very strong. And I think characters that can run that package are going to be, you should be paying attention to characters that have the death symbol and air symbol,
Yeah.
or the void symbol and air symbol, or the evil symbol and air symbol, because it's very possible they're going to do exactly what, and maybe not so much evil. Evil doesn't have as many of those, and void doesn't have as many, but definitely death and air. You should be paying attention to what they might choose to do to you, because they can make some really big attacks. But I think that means things like Idun's Box, Referee Jury, the resets will just matter that much more. Desperate Struggle, I think, is still legal. I don't believe we lost that card. I think that's
No, I think
I
that's
think that was an
LOV.
LOV promo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, Runaway.
Oh,
is
yes,
still,
yeah.
like all around.
Runaway,
So.
yeah, like
Yes.
those kinds of options are a premium. I do think you should probably have those in your decks. I mean, you should probably have in your decks anyway before this, but definitely I think that this just showcases another need for that kind of item.
Resets are very important, have kind of been important throughout the game, but not as much as it has been lately, like within the last year or so, because a lot of people are saying, like, slamming down on these attacks and saying, look, it's like double your health bar. Can you deal with it? No reset? Cool. I will just kill you and we'll go next.
Agreed.
Levi Ackerman 1. Pick up charge weapons, get +1/+1. Pick up a weapon and play it again.
There was someone playing Levi 1 at locals, and while he says it needed to be tweaked and wasn't fully complete, even an incomplete Levi deck was still kind of scary, because he's just like, all right, here's the high speed dive. All right, cool, 2-speed. I'll pick it up. I'll play it again. Cool. All my attacks are 4-speed. Now everything's just stupid fast, and they're also just getting massive. So can you deal with it? No resets? Looks like that's your problem anyway. Die.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, he just fit the criteria of what I was talking about, right? He has death and air.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Steph, Bakugo 4, Death and Air.
I was, I was thinking, I was cooking, but I've told you guys this a million times, and I'm gonna tell everybody else. I used to be a Bakugo gamer. I feel like he's not as good because it's so easy to draw cards, and that's like everything that Bakugo wants to do is he wants to just rip cards out of your hand so you can't block anything. And like with all these new sets that came out after Bakugo 4, it's so easy to put cards in your hand, and it's so hard to like stop people from doing it without jeopardizing what your deck wants to do in the first place. So I feel like Bakugo is not in a good place right now. but maybe someone will prove me wrong. I hope they do. I love Bakugo really a lot. I know. I think Sam Tate really likes Bakugo. That's his thing, right? Like he builds Bakugo 4 every set or something.
I don't remember if it was Sam specifically, but there was somebody who was just like, well, I'm gonna build him again and play
I
with
think it
him,
was
and
Sam
then
Tate because I was looking up decks on UVS Ultra, and like one of the Bakugo lists I saw was I'm building Bakugo 4 in every set or something. Like that was the name of the list.
oh
So
yeah,
I'm glad there's another Bakugro out there. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite it yet. Besides like the Death Casino stuff though, was there anything else like any other boogeymans we should look out for in Denver? Like not even just based on what you like co-casted the
oh sure.
Ace Arena, but just like stuff that you guys have seen or things that you think are going to be crazy. And I'm asking this for me, but it's also good content. So
I'm asking this in period because I want to know, but
yeah,
also
like
maybe other people would like to know what we think.
yeah.
I mean,
I think just words on face, and I'm still trying to tool up a list. There's just so many options on Chaos. I think Allura is good. Just words
I'm
on
sorry.
face.
Is your name Brian? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was asking the wider
I
group.
didn't ask Brian. She said, other than that, is there anything we have seen? Rude.
yeah, she said you.
Yeah.
I'm actually asking Jake.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't think he can hear you. He's up in the
Yeah.
tree right now.
I heard some distant screaming when we were talking about combined firepower. That's about it.
Firepower! I agree with the Allura thing. Allura has good words. I think stuff on Chaos is still just good. Momentum printing is still very strong. And then spending that momentum on big effects, such as powerful or other things. I put it up, but basically anything that has like a good powerful 3 or powerful 4. Let's see if there's anything new that I'm like.
I kind
oh,
of
absolutely
wanted
this.
to, wanted to like interject real quick. I've played against Allura while James is testing the character, and the amount of momentum she can just gain a turn is insane. Because I'm just like, okay, look at his momentum area. It's nothing. I blink. There's 5. I was like, when this happened? When did this happen? What?
And she literally prints momentum. Like it's kind of crazy. Like
I literally blinked and he had 5 momentum. I was like, wait, where'd those cards come from, bro? I definitely think Allura has the sauce, especially with her response being able to deny an attack that says, hey, this is what I'm going to kill you with. Allura says, I hope you have a second copy because that's not doing anything.
For sure. I do think cancels are always strong, and cancels and seals and things like that are always strong. And so having access to it on a character, because that is really hard to interact with in our game, rightfully so, I think.
Yeah.
Makes that a very viable strategy in those ways.
I think Godzilla's dead.
I
I think it's over for Godzilla. I was looking at like UVS Ultra and just kind of like being sneaky and seeing like recently modified to see like what decks people were thinking about building. Godzilla was not really in there.
So,
and, like, so I think people are like not even considering him. Like I think he really just got the shit beat out of him.
I don't.
that's when he's the most dangerous.
Yeah, maybe.
my thought process on that is probably not now, but probably later when people forget about Godzilla, he'll creep back up because Sero was like this. Fourth Kind, in a way, was like this, where like people were ready for him, so they like teched against him whenever they saw him. But then after a while, like people stopped playing him. People were like, "All right, let our guard down just a little bit," and next thing you know, they crept back up. And they're like, "Hey, by the way, I didn't go anywhere," and freaking they suplex him into the fucking ether.
Yeah.
Like, so I think Godzilla is in that little area of, well, everyone's just ready for Godzilla. So I guess we just don't play him for a bit, wait like a couple sets and be like, oh, by the way, I'm back.
Yeah,
and you just obliterate them.
I think the important part about Godzilla too is he lost Battle Arena, and that's big.
Oh, that's
Godzilla.
true.
Like that's huge. That like losing Battle Arena is like, okay, I'm not playing Godzilla then.
There's a backup that does the same thing, but without the momentum print.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
I don't remember which of the it's in.
Oh, it's the mage backup, isn't it?
Yeah, Sean Gilmore.
Yes.
gives
Wait,
plus 2
the
to your next
sexy
check.
mage?
Yeah, sexy mage.
That's really funny thinking of like that guy being Godzilla's backup. Like it's just
Just on his
Godzilla
back.
Yeah, he's
with some
Godzilla's
like
hype man.
yeah, there's
It's
just
like
like some man slut writing on him.
it's
Just like, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy, Godzilla.
yeah, I was gonna
Damn.
say it's that cinema roll meme. And
Yeah.
it's just like I think we have to kill this guy, Godzilla. Damn. It's literally that. Oh my goodness.
But I was gonna say that I honestly I don't think that he's dead. I think it's it's the Toy Story meme. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Anymore. Yeah.
Of
Like yeah, a lot of
Godzilla
people like to-
hasn't changed. Godzilla's still plenty good on his face.
Yep.
He does pretty much a lot of the same things that like someone like Grog wants to do. Obviously, Grog gets to draw cards and Godzilla doesn't. That's a difference. But like giving 3 damage, hitting for a truckload, those kinds of things. Those are all things that Godzilla was already doing, right? And Godzilla has proven that he can just do at all times. He's just allowed to always be there. But because nothing really came out for Godzilla as well, and it does feel like there's just going to be a bunch of people who are like, yeah, Godzilla's probably fine. Like probably in the good territory.
Yeah, I agree. Like I do agree to that point as well, where it's also, and I don't mean any shade when I say this, but a lot of people want to play with the new shiny things that are coming out, which I mean, again, I'm guilty of that. So again, no shade. But
Are you implying that Godzilla's not new and shiny?
Not anymore.
just sit back and hear me out, okay, before you kill me. There's all the shiny new characters that are coming out with Exandria, and everyone wants to play with the new stuff. Which I mean, who wouldn't, right? So I think a lot of people just are also not wanting to just play Godzilla because they want to play with the new stuff, even though Godzilla is good and can do all the things that players want to do in this game. He's not the new shiny character that people want to play right now. I'm sure there'll still be people playing him, but like because it's also the same with like Mirio or in my case Overhaul. Like I've always tried to look at ways to play Overhaul. In fact, I wanted to play Overhaul for Atlanta when I was planning on going, and then Ruin existed. I'm like, okay, I guess this character just can't do anything. So it's not exactly the same thing. But there are these characters that are still good, but since they're not new, not everyone wants to give them the time to think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I even said as much. Like, I'm bored of Godzilla. I don't want to play him anymore. I've been playing him too much. People are expecting him now. It's not fun to play him. You know, like
Yeah,
I was ready to move on. That's why I'm probably picking up Pike.
that is
Denver.
that is also my mindset of I've played this a lot. I like it, but I want to play something else, which is why I'm always making decks to my detriment. But like I'm always wanting to play something else.
Yeah.
See, and
So
I'm not like that. I play a character, and when I finally have fun with that character, I'm like, well, how do I keep just playing this character? Because I just want to keep doing this one thing. Because this is fun.
Character now. I have that character now. It's Overhaul. Like I just really like Overhaul.
You
But
got one more year.
yeah, so I really want to try to like hit it home with Overhaul before we lose him. So like I think I found my character in that mindset and that's just Overhaul because he's just so freaking cool.
So I have a question to pose real quick. Is Grog just the new better Godzilla? I mean, he gives the 3 damage to most of his attacks once he's got a couple counters. He gets to draw cards. Yeah, he doesn't get the plus checks, but he also doesn't have to play 5s. And if you play him on Earth, he still can play the 5-diff City Rampage package. Is he just kind of eclipsed what Godzilla used to do?
He can also still damage throws too.
Mhm.
Like,
yes, in multiple ways. The first way is like in the card sense, which I'll let you guys talk about. But the other sense is I think he's gonna have a big showing. I think a lot of people are gonna be playing Grog, which is a very Godzilla thing. Like my prediction is he's gonna be a big percentage of decks that we see at Denver.
Agreed.
at the very least, the most represented Exandria character.
Yeah.
For sure that. Followed by characters that I think like Percy and Vax will probably have a decent showing, because
Especially Vax, yeah.
they can do the thing I was talking about, and get the extra bonus. Whereas, though there's like a Flash Percy list that probably isn't a version that does that, but there is definitely, you could
Now
just
that
do
sounds interesting.
well because all of Percy stuff is response speed, so you just
Yeah, exactly. It's a thing that I thought about doing with Edo One way back in the day, but unfortunately with Edo One, you still need to play enhances. It's not like with Percy where it's like, yeah, I don't necessarily care about enhances. I can give stats at response speed that matter.
well, it's just speed really, but yeah,
No, I mean still.
but that is a stat that matters. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I do think for Grog, um, the biggest thing that kind of lets him eclipse someone like Godzilla is not the is not specifically that he can just like run the same package. It's that he doesn't have to run the same package. He can give the 3 damage. He can run 4s. He can run 3s. Those are things Godzilla is not allowed to do.
Exactly, which is kind of what I was getting at. Like he gets, if he wants to, especially on Earth, he can run that package, but he also has the option of not, and he still gets most of the benefits with Drog, honestly, a little bit more than what Godzilla used to do.
He also gets the added benefit of, now this is me looking at what happened through the through the Ace Arena tournament, but like, man, nobody wanted to block. Everyone was kind of just like, you know what? Hit me in the face. Do it. It won't be enough. And I was just like, man, I think if you just block these, this game's very winnable. If you just block a couple of these Grog attacks, but you're basically, now to be fair, the Grog matchups that I saw were both uber aggro decks going, I can do your health total before you do my health total.
Yeah, it was more or less like a game of chicken, kind of.
Yeah, where they're just like, if you come in, you better be able to kill me, because if you don't, I'm killing you. Um, and basically, Grog was winning by backswinging by going, oh, you didn't kill me. Well, I'll kill you then. You can't block anything. It doesn't matter that my moves don't get speed, which I do think is important. I think it's the biggest part of why, like the biggest protection from Grog is if he only has like a couple of rage counters and he spins them on moves that are very blockable, just block them. And then and then if he hits you with a printed card, most of the printed cards he wants to run are 4 damage. It's really not that bad. 7's a lot. 4 is half that, basically. It's like you effectively half blocked his last attack if you just block the 2 attacks that have rage counters. Because he's not really running a lot of the stuff that gives him bonus counters. That's more of a Yasha thing, because Yasha wants to save him.
Yeah, I mean, I would say everybody's talked about it. We put him in the Bussin tier. Like, I think Grog is great. And I do think he's kind of like taken over that spot that Godzilla used to hold.
On a revisit, I think Vax should be up in that direction, at least as long as he can run the things that he's allowed to run. And probably Percy, even though I'm not super high on Percy. Mostly I'm not super high on Percy because 20 is very easy to do.
Yeah, I mean it's the 7-hander problem.
Yeah, it's the
like,
seven.
wow, cool words, but you have like no health.
But at the same time, the 7-hander benefit is, well, I can just do what someone like Mirko was doing, and it's a little more consistent because I get to see an extra card to try and have it happen. So I do think Pike will be okay because minusing speed allows you to block, and blocking, I think, is very important in our game, and it feels like a lot of people just go, I don't want to mess with it. That's complicated. Now,
Yeah,
to be
that's
fair, it's because there's a lot of stuff where you're just like, I get benefits for not blocking, but
Yeah, that's kind of where I was when I played Gorillas. I like very rarely blocked. But that's kind of one of my goals playing Pike is I want to I want to practice with like a more defensive character and kind of get used to that because I do feel like that might be the direction Universus is trying to move us. And I mean, they have said as much with them not wanting games to end on turn two. They want longer games, so that means games where you have to think more and you have to block more and there's more interactions going on. Like I've talked about this before, but if that's the kind of game space Universes is wanting, then you gotta play the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why I like playing Seven Angels, because I have to do all of that. And if I don't do that, I die.
See, I don't like playing seven handers because I don't like dying.
Same.
Well, I
It's 'cause
do.
we're winners.
What? Ow.
Nah, we'd win.
Ow.
No, obviously
My
there's been
pride.
plenty of great seven-handers out in the world. I don't enjoy them, but there's plenty of really good ones. Where I'm like, I can think of a couple that come immediately to mind. Eraser 1 was really good. Tokoyami was really good.
Tokoyami 1 specifically.
Yeah,
Toko 2 was trash.
Tokoyami 1 was very good.
And do you know what those cards have in common?
Seven
They
hands.
rotated.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, we talked about this last episode, but like they used to be good in a different like meta, but now I just don't think so.
I
don't
think
know.
card.
Unless they're in the hands of someone who's like very, very, very good at the game, who is probably gonna win on like any deck. I just don't think seven
Honestly,
handers are in a good place.
I have my money that if Eraser 1 did not rotate, I honestly think James wouldn't place very highly, considering the fact
Yeah.
that I think James piloted the character really, really well. And
Yeah, I agree.
anytime he sat Eraserhead in front of me, I was like, I'm going to be in for one hell of a brawl. I hate it here.
Well, I don't want you to hype him up too much. Because, like, let's be honest. Who the hell's James? No,
He's the other guy.
exactly. No, I do think in a more in a less like sorry, I do think if Eraser were still around, Eraser would still be in tops.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Agreed.
because
I wish he was.
Eraser's ability is just you don't have a character, and that's really strong.
Really strong.
Really, that plus minus speed to block or plus speed to try and go in on the turn that matters is like very strong. Because a lot of characters, especially in our newer design space, where we're really going, hey, we want the characters to have very strong abilities. Grog isn't very strong if he's not allowed to give +3 damage to stuff, and isn't allowed to gain rage counters when he hits, and isn't allowed to get rage counters when he gets hit.
Yeah, and also to kind of backtrack a little bit with kind of what Steph was saying is that the seven handers that were really good in the meta that they were in, I actually think Eraserhead has a place now because there's a lot of strong characters. He could probably be too good because, like, again, he can just on a whim just go, you don't have your character. Next attack, you don't have your character. Like with those characters that rely on their character to do things, Eraser just says, nah, you don't have your character. Sorry, bro. So I think Eraserhead could be really good in the current state of the game. But again, that's a perfect world, multiverse, parallel universe kind of thing because, we don't have that character anymore.
I also think that because of stuff like that, we're not going to see a character like Eraserhead again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're getting away from the every turn I'm allowed to say you aren't a character.
Yeah.
Kind of setup. Sure. Kind of setups because I don't think because it feels unfun if I'm just going to make up an example version. I'm a new player. I got in because of Critical Role. My favorite character is Ford. I built a cool Ford list, and a character like Eraserhead's around who says my character is blank, and then I play my attack. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna steal the spell bolt and like do all this cool stuff. And then like as soon as I play the thing to try and grab the coolest spellbolt card, spellbolt and sword swipe, he goes, actually, you can't do any of that. And you go, okay, fine. Surely he can't do that to me again. And then you play the attack, and he's like, actually, you still can't do that. And you
He's
still
gonna do
can't
it
do it.
to him.
You still can't do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, yeah, no, I agree because Eraser it practically did that for free. What it felt like most of the time.
Mhm.
So like, I agree. I don't think it should come back necessarily because yeah, that is like really really strong. But I like Eraserhead would thrive in
Oh, I think
the
Eraserhead would be
current game
wildly
today.
good in like our current format. The
Mhm.
only detriment would be the fact that he probably dies to one move. If the
Yeah.
shields come down, he's probably just dead. But like as far as his words are some of the strongest words. I in fact thought someone like Essek was maybe going to be somewhere in that direction.
Same.
And I mean like the recheck is also really good, but like Essek doing that once per turn, I seal your character for this attack would have been like a character like that could maybe exist. Where they go this turn, you don't count, or this attack you don't count. If you want to play another one after that, you can kill me. You know, like you'll hit me for 1,000,000. That's fine. But this one, no thanks.
Well, keeping on topic with really powerful things we don't get to do anymore, let's talk about some of the cards we're going to miss from sets 2 and 3 now that they've rotated.
07.
In
Battle
the chats.
Arena.
I
So
did love me some
sad.
Battle Arena.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Battle
that
Arena was
one's.
good.
I'm missing that one for reasons I already said.
Yeah.
It being gone mean Godzilla is not as powerful, even though he's got that backup. Like Battle Arena was still so good.
Yeah. A card I'm going to miss is actually Ice Gliding. For a spam foundation, Ice Gliding did so much. Like Ice Gliding was very good. For a spam foundation, being able to just go, nah, -2 speed, and if I block this, which I more than likely am if I'm making it slower, the next one's also going to be slower. Granted, it's only one slower, not two, but still, being able to effectively -3 speed on a 1 diff is pretty good. On top of it, also having the versatility of being used on offense to go, hey, this one's getting a speed, and if you block this one, my next one's also getting a speed. So basically, being a +2 or -3 speed on a spam foundation is really good.
Yeah, I'm good with that one rotating.
I mean, we are like the game is sort of moving into this world of we want our spam foundation to be good, but we don't want them to be like crazy good.
Yeah. Are we losing easily excited as well?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
we're
set
losing
3.
easily excited, basic training,
Yeah, those are the other
new
two
training
big
method.
spams.
New training method we're losing. Rip Ymir players, but you'll be fine. You'll live. But
Well,
like
yeah.
yeah, she'll be fine.
Hopefully
She'll-
not. Hopefully not.
So like I used to crap on Crimson Rampage a lot. So I'm like, this set felt really weak. There's like nothing good here. And then as time progressed, I was like, actually, no, there's actually some pretty good cards from that set. And Heroes Clash was kind of the same way. Although I was more favorable towards Heroes Clash. A lot of people were like, nah, this set doesn't really do anything. And then over time, it's like, oh, yeah, no, there's good cards in this set. Like Stun Grenade is one as well.
I'm
Like
gonna
Stun
miss
Grenade
Stun
was
Grenade.
Yeah, Stun Grenade was very integral to like Fury list because it just it sort of tutored.
It did the
Furies.
Fury list thing of I want to see a couple more cards and get a Fury card.
Exactly. So and also stunned one.
Mhm.
And it was a 4 mid 4.
Fun stun. Yes, it was 4 mid 4. Stunned minimum 1.
Yeah,
And had
if you
powerful
were doing
too.
yeah, true. It could also just kill your opponent. Like Stun Grenade did a lot.
It
like
just did it all,
it was,
man.
It is a good card. So if I had to pick a second one, it'd probably be Stun Grenade. Even though I didn't really play a lot of Fury packages, I do admit that Stun Grenade was a very good card and integral to the Fury package.
Yeah, I got two that I'm gonna be missing. One of them doesn't really see too much play anymore. The other, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen either of them super recently, but we kind of lost a lot of the really important charge packages, especially after set one rotated.
Yeah, it was.
But Man, I'm gonna miss double jab pummel. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, that card's
I
cool.
was thinking about that card too. Yeah,
That card was
Double
cool.
Jet Pummel was so dope.
What's your other one?
So one that I have played a lot and really like with my Fury packages, we just got the good old Howitzer and Back Cyclone.
Hell yeah. That card was sick.
Yep. That card also killed people. And drew cards. Card was very good.
Steph, I imagine you don't have like a lot of nostalgia to set 2 and set 3 since you came in after.
No.
So I don't know if you even know that many cards that you would care about, except for the ones that mattered when you came into the game, which weren't very
Yeah.
many.
Godzilla doesn't play it. Get it out of my face.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
more or less.
Though you then named 3 cards, obviously, that were in Godzilla's list that aren't like that aren't legal anymore, or that are getting
Yeah.
rotated. I have like 2 real cards, and then I have a meme answer as well. Because
Okay.
there's
The answer is going to be confused.
I do like confused, but and I do feel like an effect like that probably should still exist.
Agreed.
That's a part of a topic maybe that we might talk about as well, or maybe do it in another podcast, depending about things that we think should just be in the game, like abilities that should just be in the game, not necessarily the card itself word for word, but like what that card did and represented.
If you want to see that episode, comment down below.
Yeah, but obviously there's a lot of cards that got lost because we lost 200 something cards. I will personally miss being able to do things like cheerful uppercut to people, specifically blocking with it and
Yeah.
stuffing one.
Yeah.
Man, that was fun. Every time someone was
I
like,
love
"I'm
doing-
gonna get you," and you're like, "Not yet, man."
I loved doing that in Kamui. I just say, hey, your turn's done. I'll also ready my character. Would you like to continue?
And then in there's a couple like Endeavor cards from his starter that I think were good. That obviously they're no longer around, so those won't matter. Like those aren't playable anymore. I did like Battle Arena a
Oh
lot.
yeah, we're losing like quick to act, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was all that started at.
Yeah.
I have a soft
Fastest
spot
Lane.
for cards like basically stuff that was in the Ochako 2 list, the Hulk and Grimace, the all those Fury cards, things like that. But like
That card gives
a
me
more
PTSD.
more generic card that I think was like pretty good that we won't see a lot, that we're not going to see much anymore. Like something like male bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was pretty cool. The meme card though, because that's the most important card actually,
Of course.
is cool and tough.
Yeah.
But mostly because
Swish.
I love that art. Yeah.
Swish.
Swish. I love that
Yeah.
stupid picture.
Yeah. I mean, it was just momentum hate.
Yeah.
So it
And
kinda-
honestly, we probably should have been running stuff like it.
Yeah.
Well, it was anti-momentum hate
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
because you put it back in your hand.
Yeah.
Momentum safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
momentum protection.
Yeah.
Because it was after they made you spend your momentum, you put it back in your hand.
Yeah. And also the Deadlock Enhanced to Ready Arrival Foundation to Ready 2, which
Mhm.
that could possibly matter for Deadlock. It was also a spam.
Yeah, it was a one.
I say as I'm looking at Cold and Tough in my hand right now.
Yeah, I've got UVS up. I was looking and then like it's kind of crazy to me how many cards from Heroes Clash were just banned.
Yeah.
Like we banned
like
these
one
cards.
with nature.
Yeah, there were quite a lot.
I was like, huh. But I
Yeah.
remember when we were getting this set that a lot of people were like, this set's not that good. And then I'm like, well, Ojura
Yeah.
2 came in that time.
One with nature.
One with Nature.
Twisting
Snack
Azure.
time.
Snack Time, Twisting Azure Inferno. We got the most broken character in the world, 13.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was gonna as you reminded me, my favorite character's rotating.
13.
13.
13.
I was gonna, my first set of meme answers was going to be, oh, I'm gonna miss Toru Gakure 2. No, wait, sorry, she got reprinted. Her attack, invisible infiltration. Wait, no, wait, that got reprinted. Cheerleader. No, wait, that got reprinted. And just like
Yeah.
because her kit got reprinted.
Yeah.
But it was just her kit. I would like to see other cards get reprinted. Or the Church of Sludge, obviously. Everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
You can't forget
The
Sludge,
the
bro.
the Church of Sludge was
Can't forget the Church of
a
Sludge,
big
man.
meme in my community when I started playing.
Yeah,
The Church of
I was a believer. That card was actually, I think,
I
if
think
if
that
you
card could have been
found a
really
way to,
strong in Godzilla. Like I just saw it again, I was
yeah,
like, ooh, that actually might have been sick.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you found a way to print the momentum,
Yep.
like that card was actually really good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It had
Yeah.
chaos and was a 5-diff
Mhm.
and readied
Yeah,
one
what's
of your
that?
cards.
What's that card that's like something Baker? Is it
Talented Baker.
or
Talented
something?
Baker.
Talented Baker
Yeah,
was
is
That
sick.
card's also
That's a
good.
really good one. Yeah.
Is that getting cycled
Yep.
out? Is that
That was
Yeah,
part
it
of.
set free.
Thank God, dude. Every time I see James with Talented Baker in his stage, I'm like, okay, I just lose, I guess. Like,
It was only Ryukyu. That's the only time you ever saw it.
was
I played
it?
it. I played
Yeah.
it in Wolfwood, and it was very good because, like, whenever I would go cool respond, I'll draw 2. Now all my attacks get a speed.
Yes,
That
you're
was
so
sick.
annoying, dude.
That
Oh my
was
God.
sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember back in the day, Midnight with Talented Baker.
Mhm.
That shit was
Oh, don't.
nice.
I loved Midnight 1, and I'm so mad that Midnight 2 was bad. That's a discussion for another time. Continue.
Chivalrous Competitor, very good card
Yeah.
that we're
Yes.
losing.
Sad we're losing that. We're losing Petty
Yep.
Squabble as well. That one was
Yep.
good.
Yeah, I loved that
Yeah,
card.
Petty,
We were losing
yeah,
both
Petty
of
Squabble
the.
has always been like a sneaky pick.
We were losing both of
Mhm.
the promo punches that cared
Oh
about
my
each
God,
other.
Recovery Girl is gone. Recovery Girl is gone.
Yeah,
I
but
just
we were talking about
realized.
cards
Yeah.
we liked.
Yeah. Well, okay, fair. But she's gone.
She is gone. Nah, we're
Roy
losing
Mustang,
Hardened Barrage
Electric
and
Rod on
Rapid
Fire.
Punches because I think those cards were cool, and I liked that they.
Rapid Punches especially.
Rapid Punches was very good. I liked Hardened Barrage because it referenced Rapid Punches, and I liked that Rapid Punches referenced Hardened Barrage. I thought it was,
Yeah,
cool,
it was cool.
that they
was
had the
very
same symbols and were like, "We want you to play us together, please, please
And
play us together."
No one did. No one
I did a little bit, but like it wasn't. And then like usually, or I guess there was the not quite infinite
Yeah.
Vash combo list that
That
played
loop.
both,
Yeah.
because you'd end up like playing one Rapid Punches to give Hardened Barrages more speed to make it easier to do the loop. I'm gonna miss Tiger because
Tiger was
was fun.
interesting.
Tiger was
Yeah.
fun when they came out, and I was like, this character's cool, and I'm gonna miss Villainous Waylay.
Pixie Bob was fun.
Oh,
Like,
I forgot about Grenadier Bracers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like there were a lot. So like there are a lot of cards in Crimson Rampage and Heroes Clash that at first thought it's just like, yeah, I mean, we lose like a couple cards, but don't really care about the set. And then we actually like what we're doing now is just really think about it. It's like, oh yeah, we're losing that card and that card. Man, I loved those cards. Oh, and this one too.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's also one of those things where I'm like, I named 10 cards, 12 cards, but the cards I named were just cards that used to be good.
Yeah.
Like, well, most of the cards I named some of them were just cards that I liked, like because I liked the art. Like Airstream Driver was cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like
I think that card
Small and
was
Limber
kinda
is
cool.
cool. But like, when was the last time Small and Limber was in a deck? When was the last time Taiyaki Fanatic was in a deck? Or like,
I think Taiyaki Fanatic was hardly ever in a deck, which is funny because it is a cancel. And this was before like cancels were on a lot of different cards.
we're gonna lose Struggling with Studies, card that is actually way good.
Yeah,
and
right.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
another thing that I think I was like, that's an effect that probably should exist, kind of thing.
Yeah,
We're losing Training
sure.
with Gunhead. I loved that card. That card was very
The card was good for what it did for sure.
It was very strong. It would
Throw
have been,
hate.
yeah, Throw Hate, but Throw Hate on board that didn't cancel the throw basically.
Yeah, it just says, oh wow, your strategy is just to pump a lot of damage on a throw. Cool. It's 2 damage now.
Yeah, it's like, well, play 2 throws.
Pony players are losing any means necessary.
Yep.
High value.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got high value targets still because they get reprinted.
Yeah,
so
it got a reprint.
Yep.
It got an LOV, like signature
Uh,
series,
we're-
whatever they call that.
The extra credit promo.
Extra credit. Yeah, thank you.
The cards that got that treatment, we got Infinite Potential,
Mhm.
League Interview, High Value Target, Forcing Surrender, and Drowning in Resentment.
We would have lost Faith's Shield, but then we didn't.
Oh, and Determined.
Oh yeah, Determined. Mhm.
But Determined's a set 4 card anyway, so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as much. But then they reprinted Faith Shield, but no one really plays Faith Shield because
Not
blocking
anymore.
is not cool. It's for squares, according to a lot of people who play our card game, it seems like.
And also, I mean, unless you're a 7-hander and on those symbols, then you have Faith Shield in the sideboard because throws, no matter how much you block, throws will kill you.
I don't even feel it's for that. In my case, it's the flip.
Throws and combo interruption.
It's the combo interruption, but like that's not as important anymore. It's the fact that in 99% of cases, there are a lot of characters that clear their progressive, but can clear their progressive when it's like an attack or it's a specific card
Like
thing. And then you go, well, it's a face down, so it's not any of those.
Agreed. Like, I think that's important, but also for 7-handers, you also care that if they're playing throws, you need an answer for the throw. But yeah, that too, just going, I know you like to clear specific cards, but that is now a face down blank card. You cannot clear unless you have an effect that says clear a card.
You haven't basically seen it in forever, but I'm going to miss Excited for Blood.
Yeah. The card was good.
And then same with Unexpected Hero. I thought that card was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it was flip -3 speed, effectively. I mean, it gave your rival's attack 3 damage, or just this attack, so it could even be your own for 3 damage. But you used it for flip -3 speed, which is really good.
Yeah, it was just flip. Yeah, man, I'm blocking it. Yeah,
Felt
flip
bad. I
minus
had
three.
somebody do that to me at Nats, and I had the outweight card, so they gave me +3 damage, and then I gave it +4 speed.
Yeah, you got
You're-
one.
you're-
You
you're
got a
rude.
total of 1, and then you flip a card over and give it this extra speed.
You're rude.
You're like, yeah, it's 4-3 now.
Thanks for the damage, loser. Die.
Yeah, that's because James is a messed up person who hates other people.
True. The degen of the group.
It's true. It's true.
The gang part of Hula Gang.
He's the hula part of Hula Gang. Obviously this got banned, but I enjoyed Back Alley Haymaker. Obviously it was way too consistent, but
Yeah, it's okay. We have Attack Titan Zaymaker.
yeah, which is almost the same thing. It basically does all the same stuff. It just doesn't draw you a card. I also think that in the world we're going into, something like Back Alley Haymaker would be less strong because the zeros are now becoming like blank cards primarily.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you just go, cool, I gained a foundation. It'd be the same as if it just said build a face down.
Yeah, we're not building in release anymore.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tight-lipped. It can't be
there were-
fixed.
A
Yeah.
lot of like crazy. Oh, and Can Be Fixed was probably the best spam foundation in the game at the time.
I
it
think
was-
it was probably requesting assistance, but
Requesting
that-
assistance was very good.
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
the re-ready.
was-
I think
that
mine
was-
goes for either that or release, but that's a totally different topic. We are losing a lot of really nice cards, but we gained some pretty good cards this set too. So
Word.
I'm really excited, looking forward for the future of the game.
absolutely.
I think they've done really good stuff. Let us know what you think about your missed cards and what cards you're excited for here in the down in the comments, of course. We would also appreciate it if you'd like, comment, and subscribe. I think
We
we're
do
probably
read your
gonna-
comments.
Yeah,
We-
we're also
we
really
do.
close to 100 subscribers, and we have something fun planned for 100. So we're at like 87 as of this video. We're very close.
Share this with your friends, your family, hey, even your mom who doesn't really care for YouTube stuff. Have her subscribe.
Share
Shit.
it with your dog.
Ah,
Yeah,
God,
your
you took my
dog-
joke.
I'm good at that. I'm always stealing Brian's joke, saying it at the same time. Like,
Yeah, I
the secret
I
cap
literally was
I'm
about to
always
say,
stealing.
share it with your dog, with your cat,
Please share it with your pets.
with your neighbor's pets.
your neighbors. Just project our podcast onto like a wall in your neighborhood, you know?
And tell them
Let
they have to
everybody listen.
subscribe to it. Like,
Yeah.
they can't just watch it. Though we would appreciate the watch time too.
Under threat of death.
Under
No joke.
Whoa, whoa. And with
Alright.
that, we're going to go ahead and we'll call it there. Again, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate everything that, you guys comment and let us know that you love it. I mean, it's really, it does matter. Like, we see it and we appreciate it. So
Yeah.
thanks
We
again.
also- We also love it when you guys like stop us like at events and stuff, say hi. Like when that happened at Nats, like I could say this for me because I had 1 or 2 people say that really liked watching the podcast and had a discussion about it. Felt really good. So like, thank you for watching the podcast and everything.
No
Yeah, it's
one's done
very
that to me
motivating.
yet. Someone do that to me at Denver if you're listening.
Please.
Come say hi to me. Someone please talk to me.
I don't know. They're scared of you. You just threatened to kill them.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
true.
Also,
I said they should do it to their neighbors under threat of death. I'm commanding them to kill
it
others.
sounds more like you're commanding
Hold on a
them to
minute.
share it
All
to
right,
their neighbors
all
or
right,
they will
all right.
die.
in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yes, sorry.
In game.
I will kill
Also,
them in a
we're-
children's card game.
If you see us in Denver, definitely come by, say hi. Great experience. I had, like saying with the others, we had people come talk to me in Denver or in Nats, and I've been felt very proud. It's awesome to have you guys let us know that you listen. It means a lot. So, with that, we will be in Denver next week. So, or next weekend. So if you guys see us there, say hi. We, for the same reason, won't be putting out a podcast that week, but keep an eye on the shorts, and if you're on our TikTok, we're going to be posting some content about us being there and what the experience is like. So we're really excited, and we hope to see you there. With that, I'm James.
I'm Steph. I think I see some vultures circling.
Andrew. No, that's just Jake.
And Brian, I think I'm going to eat the other guy.